We begin this broadcast with breaking news coming in from Pakistan. All mobile services have been suspended across the country moments before the polls opened in the country's high-stakes election. Once again, I repeat, mobile services have been suspended due to a deteriorating security concern in the country. That's what the Interior Ministry in Pakistan says. They say this move has been put in place to maintain law and order in the country. A possible internet shutdown was anticipated for days. But the latest surge in terrorist incidents have now resulted in the deaths of scores of people in the run-up to a crucial day, that is the polls. And that has forced a complete shutdown of mobile services in Pakistan. The government release says that the decision has been taken in the light of deteriorating security crisis and also to mitigate any potential security threats as the people of Pakistan go to the polls. Voting has begun. Now, for more details about what's happening on ground in Pakistan, joining us now is our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik on the phone lines. Anas, thanks for joining us. As we understand, mobile services have been suspended. Getting information from the country right now is extremely hard. Tell us what's happening on ground right now.
Well, we're on the roads of Lahore, and what we see is that it's not business as usual. There's low traffic on the road. It's already a public holiday that has been declared. There's beefed up security deployment and measures that have been there across the country, and the polls have begun a short while ago. While there is not much.
Right, it seems we've lost our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik. Once again, we'd like to remind our viewers who've tuned into WION's coverage of the Pakistan elections. As of now, mobile services have been suspended across the country. The Interior Ministry of Pakistan says this has been done to maintain law and order in the country. Now, voting has begun in Pakistan. Polling has begun, and this is happening simultaneously as mobile services have been suspended. It's extremely hard to get information about what's happening on ground in Pakistan from the country as of now. All this is happening on a crucial day in the country. Remember, polling in the general election is underway across the country. While heavy security is in place, we have been reporting on a series of terror incidents that have taken place in the run-up to this big day, election day in Pakistan. As a security measure, borders with Iran and Afghanistan have been sealed as of now. And the latest is that mobile services have also been suspended. Now, for more details about what's happening, we also have with us Emir Shaheen, who is a senior journalist. He is on the broadcast with us. Emir, the world's eyes are currently on Pakistan. Unfortunately, mobile services have been suspended. It's very hard to get information about what's happening on ground as polling is underway. What's your reading of the situation?
So basically, after the spate of terrorist attacks, especially the last two in Balochistan, it was very expected for journalists to prepare their satellite vans and their communications for the coverage of elections, because it was expected, just like last time, there was also an outage of mobile phone service coverage in many parts of Pakistan during the last elections. This time it was expected more because let's not forget, when the elections, this whole debate was taking place, when should elections take place, the military and the security establishment of Pakistan had already raised its hand and said, we cannot provide security. So the elections are being held in the backdrop of zero assurances by security forces that they can provide security. So mobile phones is the first thing to go. The second thing to go is pillion riding, no more than one person riding on a motorbike. So these are very standard procedures, and as a working class journalist, you know that the coverage will be affected.
Absolutely.
Not a surprise there.
Yeah, in fact, we've been struggling to get inputs from our Pakistan Bureau Chief because of this suspension. Amir, my question to you is, there's a lot of conjecture and speculation about why all this is happening. As you've mentioned, the media in Pakistan was expecting a total internet shutdown. From what we understand, mobile services have been suspended. All this is happening as the opposition figure, of course, is in jail. Does that play into any of this?
It does play into it, but we also have to remember that the sheer incompetence of the administration on the federal level and provincial level is also going to be there. So not everything will be part of the conspiracy, and that does not mean that the conspiracy is not taking place. The former prime minister is in jail, disbarred from elections, his political party completely dismantled. They're not even allowed to use their symbol bat to contest the elections. This was the story of Nawaz Sharif when Imran Khan was supposed to become the prime minister. This is the second part of the movie where now Nawaz Sharif is becoming the prime minister. The election results are not out, but it will be. If you need to understand how the elections will happen, you need to see how elections have been happening in Pakistan. You know that the polling will start delayed in many parts where the rigging is going to take place. There'll be no clarity that because the polling has started late, will people be given extra time. People will just keep asking the questions till the time is over, and then everybody will be thrown out before the counting starts, and the people who will decide who will become the prime minister will count the votes. This is started.
I mean, you've used a very strong word, rigging. That brings me to my next question, which was about the fairness of these elections.
So, I mean, in every elections except this one, because we don't need to do it anymore, I think. In every elections, investigative journalists from Pakistan, many of them killed while they were trying to do this, have shown exactly how rigging takes place in a factory-like situation where millions of bogus votes have to be cast. It's like a factory of electronics with with this whole thing, one person having a particular stamp. These kind of videos we've been showing as journalists, but I think and we were showing because we thought you've heard about it, you've never seen it. Everyone's seen it. Everyone knows how the rigging will take place. Just the makeup, the nuance is different. Otherwise, I've already told you what's happening today.
Emma, you've already mentioned Nawaz Sharif. There is a sentiment, or rather prediction, one voiced by you as well, that Nawaz Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz will likely emerge as the single largest party. So I want to ask the same question again. What's your view?
I think that's the sad part. And the sad part is not the military doing it, because that's the military's kind of job. When you control a country, you have to control everything, including all political parties and the electoral setup. I cannot blame the oppressor for the oppression. The problem is that Nawaz Sharif, once again, has played into the tune, whereas everybody else has started saying, this is not cool, to the point where now the People's Party has started saying that perhaps we should not say Nawaz Sharif is supported by the military, because just the fact that a particular party is supported by the military kind of, disilludes everyone else's voters, because what's the point? What's the point of going to the polls? I think it will be very interesting to see how PTI voters react to the fact that their candidates and their political party has been dismantled. I think that's the only interesting thing to see, is what will PTI voters do and how will they react to this new kind of rigging. This time, the rigging is different because this time is from a political party from the biggest province from which I belong to as well, because we were the privileged province.
Right.
We were favored.